Imagine realizing that the sun is about to explode. Terrifying, right? But here's the real question. Could that actually happen? And if it did, what would it look like? What would it mean for Earth, for humanity, for everything we've ever known? Stay with me until the end, because the truth is far stranger and far more fascinating than you might expect. Before we dive into the cosmic mechanics of stellar explosions, let's take a moment to appreciate the sun as it is right now. It's easy to forget that the sun is not just a glowing ball in the sky. It's a nuclear furnace, a roaring sphere of plasma more than 100 times wider than Earth, burning at millions of degrees in its core. Every second, it fuses 600 million tons of hydrogen into helium, releasing unimaginable amounts of energy. Without it, Earth would be a frozen, lifeless rock drifting through space. With it, we have oceans, forests, cities, and life. But like all stars, the sun has a life cycle. It was born, it lives, and one day it will die. The question is, how? When people hear star death, they often think of supernova, those colossal, universe-shaking explosions that can outshine entire galaxies. A supernova is one of the most violent events in the cosmos, capable of forging heavy elements, blasting shockwaves across light years, and leaving behind neutron stars or black holes. So naturally, many wonder, could our sun go out in a blaze of glory like that? Could it explode? The short answer is no. But the long answer is much more interesting. To understand why the sun cannot explode, we need to understand what makes a star explode in the first place. A supernova happens when a massive star much larger than our sun runs out of fuel. When fusion stops, the outward pressure that keeps the star stable collapses. Gravity takes over, crushing the star's core in a fraction of a second. The outer layers rebound off the collapsing core, creating a titanic explosion. But here's the key. Only stars at least 8 times the mass of the sun can explode this way. Our sun is simply too small. It doesn't have the gravitational muscle to collapse violently. Instead, it will die in a much gentler, though still dramatic way. But before we get to the sun's peaceful demise, let's explore why people fear the idea of a solar explosion. Part of it comes from solar flares and coronal mass ejections, massive bursts of energy and plasma that the sun occasionally throws into space. These events can disrupt satellites, knock out power grids, and create dazzling auroras. They're powerful, unpredictable, and sometimes frightening. But even the strongest solar flare is nothing compared to a supernova. A solar flare is like a sparkler. A supernova is like a nuclear bomb the size of a planet. The sun simply cannot produce that kind of explosion. Still, the sun is not harmless. It's a dynamic, living star with cycles of activity. Every 11 years, it enters a period of heightened magnetic chaos. Sunspots multiply, flares intensify, and the sun becomes more volatile. During these peaks, Earth is more vulnerable to solar storms. A massive solar storm could cause global blackouts, damage technology, and cost trillions. But again, this is not an explosion. It's more like the sun having a temper tantrum. Now, before we go deeper, we're about halfway through the video, so if you're enjoying this cosmic journey, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an episode. It really helps the channel grow and lets me keep making videos like this. All right, let's continue. If the sun can't explode, what will actually happen to it? The answer lies billions of years in the future. Right now, the sun is in the middle of its life, in a phase called the main sequence. It's stable, predictable, and burning hydrogen steadily. But eventually, it will run out of hydrogen in its core. When that happens, the sun will begin to change. It will swell into a red giant, growing so large that it may engulf Mercury and Venus. Earth might survive physically, but the heat will boil the oceans, melt the crust, and turn our planet into a scorched wasteland. The sky will glow red, the atmosphere will evaporate, and life as we know it will be impossible. This transformation won't be an explosion. It will be a slow, majestic expansion. The sun will become thousands of times brighter, its outer layers drifting into space like cosmic smoke. Eventually, it will shed those layers entirely, creating a beautiful glowing shell called a planetary nebula. At the center of that nebula will be the sun's core, now a white dwarf, a dense, Earth-sized ember glowing with leftover heat. Over trillions of years, that white dwarf will cool, fade, and become a cold, dark remnant. No explosion, no supernova, just a quiet, graceful exit. But here's where things get even more fascinating. Even though the sun cannot explode, the universe is filled with stars that can do. Supernovae are essential to life. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the gold in your jewelry, all of it was forged in the heart of a dying star. Without supernova, the universe would be a dull place, filled only with hydrogen and helium. So, in a way, we owe our existence to exploding stars. But our sun is not one of them. It's a gentle star, a slow burner, a cosmic caretaker. Still, the idea of the sun exploding persists in popular culture. Movies show the sun going supernova, destroying Earth in seconds. But scientifically, that's impossible. The sun doesn't have the mass, the fuel, or the internal structure to explode. It's like asking a candle to detonate like a stick of dynamite. It's simply not built for it. However, there is one scenario, one extremely unlikely scenario, where the sun could explode. It involves something called a white dwarf supernova, also known as a type Ia supernova. These explosions happen when a white dwarf steals material from a nearby companion star until it reaches a critical mass and detonates. But for this to happen, the sun would need a companion star. It doesn't have one. It's alone. And even if it did have a companion, the sun would need to become a white dwarf first, which won't happen for billions of years. And even then, the conditions would need to be perfect. So yes, technically, in the farthest reaches of theoretical astrophysics, there is a scenario where the sun could explode, but it's so unlikely that it's practically impossible. So what does all this mean for us? It means that the sun is stable. It's reliable. It's not going to explode tomorrow, next year, or in a million years. Humanity will face many challenges: climate change, asteroid impacts, technological risks, but a solar explosion is not one of them. The sun will continue shining for billions of years, giving us time to evolve, explore, and maybe even leave Earth to settle among the stars. But let's imagine, just for fun, what it would look like if the sun did explode. The sky would brighten instantly, turning white hot. The shock wave would vaporize Earth in less than a second. The explosion would outshine the entire Milky Way. The blast would travel across space, lighting up distant planets and nebulae. It would be a cosmic event unlike anything we've ever seen. But again, this is pure imagination. The sun cannot explode. It will die quietly, beautifully, and slowly. As we approach the end of this video, I want to ask you something. What fascinates you more? The birth of stars or the death of stars? Do you find the idea of supernova terrifying or awe-inspiring? Let me know in the comments side. Love to hear your thoughts and continue the conversation with you. And before we wrap up, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the life and death of our sun, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. It helps more than you know, and it lets me keep bringing you these cosmic stories. The sun is our star, our light, our life. It won't explode. It won't vanish suddenly. It will live long, die gracefully, and leave behind a beautiful nebula that will drift through space for millions of years. And maybe, just maybe, one day, new stars and planets will form from the sun's remains. The universe is a cycle of creation and destruction, and we are part of that cycle. So the next time you look up at the sun, remember, you're looking at a star that has shaped your world, your body, your history, and your future. A star that will shine for billions of years more. A star that will never explode, but will leave behind a legacy written in the fabric of the cosmos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.